I've been stocking 27-inch iMacs for, well, months. I'm always looking for them because I just like the form factor on the desk. Unfortunately, they're Intel processors, but I love the screens, I love the speakers, I love the microphones, and they're dirt cheap. So this weekend, I saw this little guy for sale. And late 2015 iMac 5K, 3.2 gigahertz Core i5, which is not the best, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and the standard 2 gigabyte AMD graphics card, which I think is, it's no barn burner, but I think it's actually a little bit faster than the one that comes with the M1 Apple Silicons. So, great condition, non-smoking, no pets house. Comes with keyboard, mouse, charging cable, power cord upgraded, RAM to 16 gigabytes, factory reset. See photos below, local only. This was for sale in a little town called Goffstown, which is, first time I went there about 15 years ago, it felt like I was stepping back into 1900 because everything was pretty old. But the place is growing like mad. It's a beautiful town, and it's got a very nice, quaint downtown. So I went last night to look at it, and I wound up buying it. So what do we get for this? For $200. So here's the Every Mac description, and the original price was $2,000. So paying $200 for it is a pretty nice discount. It is old tech, but you get a lot for your money with used Macs. I believe I've heard that in other countries that this Mac would cost a lot more relative to what the local currency is worth. So Geekbench 5 is $29.33. The Geekbench 5 on the M1 Mini is, or the M1 iMac, is about probably $7,300, $7,400. So it's got a little bit less than half the compute power of Apple Silicon M1. Geekbench 5 single core is 850, which is good enough for regular work. Now, one option would be to upgrade the processor. So let's see, we can look at the i7 model. And the Geekbench 5 on that's 4218, which is significant. I don't necessarily need more power, but upgrading the CPU is an option. It's because usually, the CPU is 8 years old, so it's probably pretty cheap. It uses this 1867 megahertz RAM, which is a very odd number to find. If we look at the price on OWC, the 8 gigabytes is cheap. The 16 gigabytes, 2 times 16, would cost $450 at OWC right now. So it originally said that it had 2 times 16 gigabytes, but it actually turns out to be 4 times 8. If it was 2 times 16, I could toss in another 16 gigabytes or 48 gigs. 32 is probably enough, though. So it's got a okay GPU. I can add on, another monitor if I want to. I think, what can you add? You can add a single 5K dual cable or 2 4K monitors, which is way more than I need, and it has the dreaded 1 terabyte hard disk drive. I ran Drive DX on the disk drive, and it's actually fine. It had was at 97.4% on overall health. So it gives you the health by the wear indicator. So the wear is like 2.6%, which for an 8-year-old machine is great. Excuse me. All of the other Drive DX indicators were 100%. So the hard disk drive in this thing was very, very lightly used. But hard disk drives on Monterey perform really poorly. So I formatted a 500 gigabyte Samsung Evo 860 SSD, and I'm just hanging that off USB 3, and that's what I'm running off of, and it runs fine. If I ever want more performance, I'll stick in a 2 terabyte SSD, which should help quite a bit because then you're getting, I think, SATA 3 speeds, which are faster than USB 3 speeds. Now, why did I buy this? Because it is slow. Well, 3000 Geekbench 5 is fine for office stuff, web browsing, and so on. But what I really wanted was the panel. These are my favorite monitors, and I have 3 of them connected to my Mac Studio. But these things have been kind of pricey. I bought one of these things for like $350 before the pandemic, and another one for $400 something, another one for like $525 during the pandemic. I just had a difficult time paying, $585 for one. I mean, they're about $20 less at Amazon, but so for $200 I got a computer and a 5K monitor, and this monitor is gorgeous. The speakers on this thing are great, and the microphones on this thing are great, and I like having an iMac on my desk because it's nice for doing video conferencing and recording any videos where I show my face, which is, as you know, not very many. So I'm going to do. I'm probably going to do Thinkorswim on my left 2 monitors off the studio. I have the option of doing Fidelity Active Trader Pro on the 3rd monitor on my studio. Or I could put it on this system because this is Intel, so it doesn't have to go through Rosetta 2. So performance should be okay. It took me a while to install Monterey. I did that on an old MacBook Pro Intel, and I just slapped it on the system, and it was fine. Normally what I do is I eject the, the hard disk drive, so I hope it powers down, I don't know, but I don't really want it doing anything when I'm running. And the machine's thermals are okay. It's running at 57 degrees right now. The fan is spinning at about 1200, which is probably the base rate. And thermals seem to be fine. I'm not going to be doing video editing or anything heavy on it. If I make a video on this, I'll copy it over to the studio to do the transcoding work. So, yeah, if you need a Mac, if you need a screen, if you like iMacs, there are just some incredible deals out there. Earlier this week I saw a 2019 iMac with a 6-core i5 for $400. And that thing was gone in like 3 or 4 days. I considered that, but I'm a cheapie on hardware. And the other thing was the location was an hour away, whereas this one was about half an hour away. So yeah, just one of my hobbies is buying old iMacs and using them for a while and then selling them again.